Thank you, Jacqueline. Our next presentation will be made by Ms. Melanie Knowlton and Mr. Tyler Hillman.
La vita è bella.
Excuse me?
La vita è bella. It means life is beautiful. You know, that Italian movie I made you watch that won a bunch of Oscars?
Oh, that movie. Isn't that depressing movie about the Holocaust?
Yeah, that's it.
How can a movie about the Holocaust be called Life is Beautiful?
Well, I think what Roberto Benigni was trying to say is that even though things may look bad at times, life is still a wonderful thing.
Oh, I still don't get it.
Look, it's sort of like what our class has been through these past 4 years. I mean, we haven't been through anything like the Holocaust, but we have been through some pretty tough times. But now, looking back, life really has been beautiful.
It has been a pretty amazing time. Now that you got me thinking about it, I wonder what people in the future, say the year 3000, will think of us and what we've accomplished. What sort of things could we, as a class, put in a time capsule to represent us in 1,000 years? Things that would tell our story. And what kind of story would that be?
Well, it's like the opening lines from Life is Beautiful. Ours is a simple story, but not an easy one to tell. Like a fable, there is sorrow. And like a fable, it's full of wonder and happiness. Over the last couple of weeks, the two of us asked some members of our class what they would include in a time capsule to represent both themselves and the class of 2000.
Hey, remember freshman year when we first got to Mount Carmel all wide-eyed and amazed? All the guys spent months just marveling at the thought of so many older women.
And the older guys.
Well, if Mark Caravaggio got to choose something for the time capsule, he said he would pick all of the fine women in our class. So maybe everyone in the future can enjoy them as much as he obviously has.
Yeah, well, I heard that Jeff Chopapon is a little more ambitious. He said that he would include a picture of himself with Britney Spears. I'm sure he thinks that she would represent us because of her great voice.
Yeah, luckily though, freshman year seemed to end almost as soon as it had begun, which was probably a good thing for Mark and Jeff's love lives. The biggest change to accompany sophomore year was, for most of us, freedom in the form of a little plastic card.
Soon it seemed like everyone had their driver's license, though this meant more to some than to others. Anthony Salufo, for instance, selected his car as the object most able to represent his high school experience, bypassing pictures of friends, words of wisdom, and even a high school yearbook. He seems to say how much freedom has meant to us.
Yeah, or he might just really like his Honda.
But to some people, even the freedom of a driver's license was nothing next to the almighty grades.
Well, then Justin Callaman must be getting straight A's because he chose his report card to represent us in the time capsule. Talk about self-assured.
Junior year, we all started settling into our own unique personalities. Naturally, some began to stand out. For example, Ronnie Batista thought his personality was so great that we ought to bottle it and put it in the time capsule for future generations.
Joking aside though, Melanie, there are some personalities we never want to forget.
Yeah, I agree with Jamie Powers when she said that Raina Bybee and Tiffany Savage represent our class. Their commitment to each other and to the school makes us realize that there's no way we can put into a time capsule the memories that we have with them.
You know, I think Scott Spear made a suggestion for our time capsule that symbolized both the two of them and our senior year as a whole. He imagined including a teardrop. A teardrop, he said, of struggle, failure, success, and ultimately joy.
Some people we talked to had less inspirational, though equally fitting objects to represent us as seniors.
A few of us managed to escape the grasp of senioritis this year, so I think we can all relate to Adam Lambert's suggestion. He chose to include an alarm clock.
Well, I'm sure he has one to spare. I don't think his gets much use lately. But even though we got lazier as our class council still put in long hours making sure that this year was as memorable as it could possibly be.
Our class president, Trixie Castillo, suggested to include a box of Trix cereal in the capsule. And last but not least, Kenny Laubacher chose a treasure map.
Interesting. Did he say which treasure map or where it would lead to?
It doesn't say here. I just assumed he was going to provide one.
Well, let's hope it's a map to the future, because that's where this capsule and this class are headed.
I think these objects paint a picture of our class that is sorrowful at times, but also full of wonder and happiness. It certainly has been a wonderful fable.
Well, Life is Beautiful ends with the words, "This is our story."
And these are the sacrifices that we have made for each other.
We won.
Yes, Mount Carmel, we won.